Welcome to the Wild Simplicity podcast, the podcast for awakening women who are ready to shed the layers, let go of the clutter, and rediscover their wild and wonderful selves that lie beneath. I'm Anna Day, and together we'll explore how to simplify, release what's no longer serving us, and embrace the possibility of living fully in this one wild and precious life. Whether you're a dreamer, a seeker, or someone who craves doing things differently, this space is for you. Let's dive in and awaken the magic within. Hello and welcome back to the Wild Simplicity podcast. This is Anna and it's lovely to have you here today with me. And today I am checking in. It's a check-in for yourself, a check-in from me. How are you doing? How are you doing really? How is your heart? How is your breath? How is your body? And a moment to check in, particularly in this month of December when there is a lot going on. There's a lot of hype and excitement and pressure and overwhelm, and to-do lists are long and expectations can be high. And yeah, it's a reminder to check in and to tend to ourselves amongst all the mayhem and chaos. And if you already haven't had a little time to breathe and finding ways to anchor in amongst these next few weeks as it gets closer to Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, and to New Year, the culmination of 2025, and whatever pressures and stories go with that as well, to find moments to check in and to be still and to take a breath and to be in silence, to put the phone away, to, what I've started doing is putting my phone outside at nighttime when the kids come home, putting it in the hallway. Myself and my friend Julie have been talking about this, and we are accountability partners for this because I can't do it on my own. I need accountability for it. I'm actually going to get her to come on the podcast and we're going to talk about it amongst other things. But this is something that we have been practicing together, and it has been really important because being able to reflect to each other how much we're using our phones and admitting that, and they're so addictive. So really, that's a time when I take my phone away when the kids come home, and really wanting to connect with them and see them and be with them and be present with them and not get swept up in all the many messages that are coming through. And it happened this morning. I got swept up when I turned on my phone. So I did my morning pages as usual, but then it's amazing. Once the phone went on, I was like sucked into it. And so I was going along with the kids and, getting them ready and doing their lunches and stuff. But at the same time, checking all these WhatsApp messages that were coming in. So I don't have no notifications on my phone, from the perspective that it doesn't beep, but they are coming in all the time. So WhatsApp was just light with messages of organising things for Christmas and for school bazaars and for all sorts of things, and many different streams as well. Having two kids, having different groups, and then other groups within groups, and it got so overwhelming for me. I can feel it actually in my head now, thinking about it and needing, I can just feel the need to take a breath. So yeah, when we are in these times when there's such a demand of us, particularly as women and mothers, the mental load, the expectations, and I was looking at all the messages coming in, it was all the mothers, talking about presents and organising things and thoughtful things. And so there was a bit of anger and resentment coming up around that it's all the women. And there's multiple reasons for that, and I won't go into it. There's layers upon layers of reasons and conditioning and societal expectations and cultural norms and societal norms and all the rest, and patriarchy, yada yada. But the main thing was the anger was there, and the irritation and the overwhelm, and this rectangular slab taking me away from my family. And it really reminded me to come inward. Not at the time, I was totally swept up in it at the time, but reflecting back later on of how essential it is for us to be advocates for ourselves, because no one else is going to advocate for our sanity, our peace, our calm, our serenity. It has to be us. It has to be us that takes a stand for this and says, no, I will not be a slave to my phone. I will take time, and I will, take a few minutes to sit and just look out the window, look up at some trees, look up at the sky, look towards the horizon, wherever you can see the furthest point, or close your eyes down and, listen to your heartbeat, put your hand on your heart, feel your body, feel the energy moving through your body. Breathe energy around your body, breathe in from the earth, do a little meditation for yourself, whatever works for you. But the other choice is to keep going and to get totally overwhelmed, to shout at everyone around us, to get completely rageful, and to create such friction and tension in our days. So this is a reminder to come back to yourself, to find a way to take time, take a breath, and to say no. I mean, there's all the things that we have to do, especially around this time, and people we want to go and see, and like some things that are really enjoyable and lovely, but they become too much. It's not possible for us as humans to negotiate all this. There's too much. And so my question is, where can you simplify? Where can you let go a little bit? Where can you reduce your grip? Where can you delegate something? Where can you take something off the list completely and let go of these ideals as well of this time of year, when we want to create magic for our kids and for those around us? We want to create special times, and that can be done as well. But it's really deciding what gets to be most important, what gets to be our priority, and what will everyone remember? What will we remember when we look back on our life? At the end of our life, we think, oh, I'm so glad I spent so much time organizing all those little presents and wrapping each one individually, or whatever it might be, or some, I don't know, some extra effort we've gone to. Like all these things, it's difficult because all these things are such bringing beauty into the world as well. And that's something I want to talk about at a later date. Like beauty is so important as well, but not at the expense of our own peace. And when we're doing it from a place of martyrdom or a place of where it extracts from us. So we can do all those things, but first putting in the time for ourselves first. We have it the wrong way around, I think, most of the time, that we give ourselves the rest and the reward and the relaxation at the end of the day, or at the end of, at the end of the festive period, when we've done it all, then we can rest. No, we need to rest first. And I have been trialing and erroring with this sometimes, but trialing, the giving myself time to, when I sit, and it's so hard because I know how hard it is. I know how much I resist the being in silence. And even though, like this time last year, myself and Gemma were running Settling into Silence, and we had this beautiful, we did it about 3 or 4 times. We ran 3 or 4 groups of Settling into Silence, where we took every day some silence, and it was so beautiful and so necessary and provided so much gold. And so I have that muscle memory of what silence and being without any goal, without any, it's not for a meditation, it's just to be, it's just to sit and be for a few moments. And when I do it for a few minutes, it doesn't have to be long at all, and take a few breaths and really tune into my body, and breathe into those parts that are a little bit tense. Maybe my shoulders, maybe I'm tensing my tummy, maybe there's a pain in my chest, maybe there's a tightness in my chest. It's breathing into those spaces and finding a moment to be courageous enough as well to be with those moments and be in those moments with ourselves, because that could be a scary thing. We just want to keep avoiding being with ourselves and slowing down enough because we're scared of what will come up when we're just being, and we're scared of what will come forth from within us. And so it's a hard one to encourage ourselves to do, but it's so needed. And it's a practice as well. So it's like, make it messy, make it imperfect, make the slowing down, the stillness. But if you can even bring in, like, okay, I'm going to pause here and put my hand on my heart, hand on my body somewhere, on my womb space or wherever, and really breathe for like 30 seconds, or start at 10 seconds, and have a reminder on your phone or something that can bring in that presence for a few seconds or a couple of minutes, and or perhaps it's lighting a candle, perhaps it's stepping out into the garden, or if you see, what reminds me actually is when I'm out and about and if there's a bench. So I think Florence Given talks about this in her book Women Living Deliciously, which I love. That book is amazing. But I think it's her who talks about park benches. There's fewer and fewer benches in cities and in general. But when I see a bench or a seat and I make a point of sitting down, so where was I the other day and I saw a bench and I sat down for a couple of moments. But take something like that as a symbol, an invite for you to sit down and take a couple of moments to yourself. So I sat down on the bench and I just breathed, and I didn't take out my phone. I just sat and watched, and it was so nourishing, and it felt delicious. It felt rebellious, and see an empty seat as an invitation for you to sit down. So in your own home as well, see a seat as an invitation to sit down and breathe, and without whipping out your phone to check your messages, check who needs you, put something on your list, whatever it might be, or to scroll on Instagram or whatever social media. But yeah, I'm finding ways for myself to remember this and to keep bringing in the experience of bringing in silence as reluctant. And I can feel it now, like when I'm speaking about it, I can feel the reluctance within me. I can feel the resistance of sitting down for a few moments. And I can hear the voices saying, that's a waste of time. What are you going to do? Sit in nothingness? What's that going to do? Don't do that. And they are the very voices that we have to come into contact with and say, no, it's okay. It's safe now for me to sit down. And that's tend to our inner child in that moment as well, who's saying we have to keep going, we have to keep moving. It's only safe to keep moving. It's not safe to stop. There's a feeling of being unsafe in those moments when we stop. So tending to ourselves that way, like with somatic experience as well, like doing the that's havening, when you stroke from your shoulders down your arms and to the palms of your hands, and just stroking the palms of your hands. This is called havening. And I'm even breathing there as I do it. It just gives you can't help but sigh when you do that. So something somatic like that, or just giving yourself a big hug. Those of you watching the video can see me hugging myself. And if you can wrap your arms around yourself and just, rock yourself, as silly as it may seem, it is so comforting. And, just giving yourself that tight embrace. It's really lovely. This is so nice. It's so grounding, and using that when you're sitting down. And then when in the moments when you take the time to sit down, you're feeling scared, it doesn't feel safe to stop. That's the time to use these somatic practices as well, where you're like, okay, it's safe for me to sit down and to breathe for 20 seconds, like giving yourself 20 seconds to take 5 deep breaths, and allowing the breath to go in and out of your body nice and slowly. And that's all that's needed, like just building up that practice moment by moment, bit by bit, and using some sort of an anchor, or is that what they call it? Like an anchor? What do you call it when it's you're probably what is it? You're probably thinking of the word yourselves, but it's there's some word like when you're association, is that it? Associating something, like, so I'm saying a chair. So whenever you see a bench or a chair, see that as an invitation to sit down and to breathe for a couple of minutes. And I'm actually just looking at a chair over here that I never sit in. It's a chair I never sit in. I have my places in the house, as we all tend to, where we go and sit, right? So try and sit somewhere different. Sit in a chair at the kitchen table that you wouldn't normally sit in. Do you always sit in the same place at a kitchen table? Because we do. And sometimes I jig it up, but the family doesn't always like that. But so for yourself, when you're in the house, or when you go into your favorite cafe, can you sit in a different place as well? That can allow a different neural pathway to open up. But the association of whatever it is for you, maybe it's post-it note, maybe it's putting up post-it notes around your house saying sit down, or put your phone away, or whatever it is. Find a way that works for you. Or it can be an alarm on your phone that goes off, a nice little pleasant tinkly alarm. Um, or every time, I don't know, you get an email or anything, whatever works for you, find something that you can associate with, okay, take a breath, check in first, do a little hug for myself, a squeeze, and say some kind words to yourself. These build up over time, these small habits. Like, these are more important than the big long meditation sessions or the going to a breathwork class that'll change your life, or going to a retreat. It's the day-to-day times when we can advocate for ourselves, when we can courageously stop and step off the runaway train and tend to ourselves. So this is a reminder for me, as much as it is for you, to, especially during this time, because I can feel the energy, the swirling of the energy. And we're going to be in an airport on Sunday, and I can already feel the yeah, the lights, the music, all the things, and the people. Like, we can feel the energy in everybody around us, especially if you're a highly sensitive person. Feeling the energy of people at this time, and the fraught energy and the frenetic energy, and the panic and the tension, and yeah. So really being aware of that when you're in public spaces. And actually, what I was doing today was, if you have a shaker, shakers are amazing, especially again if you're a highly sensitive person, you're highly sensitive to energy, and if you're around a lot of people during the day, it's really good to have a shake. You can make it yourself. Actually, you can make a shaker with just some dry rice and put it into a little box or a little. But I have a wooden one that's on a stick that has some beans in it. It's a carved one, and I have also small little eggs, a wooden egg that has some, I don't know what's inside it, but it's a really nice gentle shake. But you can shake that all around you to break up the energy and to break up whatever's you've taken on during the day, and to shake it off. Try it with shaking something around you if you haven't tried it before, and see if you notice the difference. Like, just tune in before you do it and then tune in after, and it can really release things. But yeah, so finding time for yourself. And even if you're out, it doesn't have to be a silent place. It's a moment of stillness within you. So you can do this when you're out in amongst all those people and the frenetic energy, because we can find peace within us. And that's really the power. The power is being able to access that within ourselves, without having to go into like a quiet place in nature, or a dark room in our own home. It's like, no, where can we access that? I mean, they're all brilliant, right? But like, where can we access this within ourselves? That's the key. Within each of us is this big, beautiful pool of stillness that, if you could feel a drop dropping into it, and it would ripple out really gently. Like, there is that within all of us. So finding, like, using visuals like that, if it helps you, or sensations, feelings, whatever it is, to tap in that within. And yeah, see where you can find your associations and your anchors to help you through these few days, weeks ahead, when it's a little bit more heightened energy. So let me know if you do that, and let me know if you have any ideas as well of what you do to help yourself calm. And is it taking baths? Is it taking a shower? Is it I don't know, like, is it going out for a run? But really finding a place of stillness where your body is stationary, and just you can feel your energy grounding down into the earth, and you can feel that connection between the earth and the ether, like above, and sourcing yourself and resourcing yourself from those places as well can be really powerful. So I'm going to go and do that now. I'm going to go and resource myself before I go and pick up my kids, and then infuse that energy into the people around you. Yeah, so that's all for now. Take time for yourself, tend to yourself. It will stand to you. You will be much more productive and tick off that to-do list, and things will seem much more manageable when we keep taking time for ourselves, at least once a day, a couple of times a day if you can. When you wake up in the morning, really like tuning in before we switch on these devices that are actually never off. I don't switch mine off. I don't know what I'm talking about. I put it on airplane mode. But yeah, seeing where peace can be accessed within us. And look after yourselves and enjoy as well. Enjoy the fun of this time and the beauty and the sparkles and the lights, and tune into that aspect as well, like having the gratitude for all that this time brings. But it can bring up a lot for people. So go gently, go softly, go tenderly, and find as much wild simplicity as you can along the way, letting go of things you don't need, and really coming back to your untamed self, that you don't need to be a certain way. You don't need to do all the things that society expects. You can rebel. You can say no. You can, reject those ideals that have been set, and do it your way. Make it your own, and make your own rules. And yeah, enjoy. Take a breath, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for joining me on this journey to wild simplicity. If today's episode inspired you to let go, simplify, and reconnect with your truest self, I would love for you to share it and help spread the word. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode, and follow along on Instagram at Wild Simplicity for more inspiration. Remember, life is precious and you have the power to live it fully, freely, and fiercely. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep seeking, and keep embracing the wild possibilities of life.